Hop on here and we could start talking about anything anybody wants to. We could talk about what happened at the Capitol yesterday, about the votes that were going in, and nobody said anything about it, right? They had a discussion at the Capitol yesterday. They were actually voting for mandated vaccinations on our kids. California also just passed in the legislation where our kids are going to be taught racial discrepancies, right? We got to watch what's going on because nobody's telling us, and yet all these legislators are out there right now voting on stuff that affects each and every single one of us. They don't just affect us, but they also affect our kids. So, and if anybody wants to come on in. I'm actually, let's see, just send you a request, so you should be able to come in if you wanted to. So, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm very good, and how are you?
Good. What kind of question or what do you want to talk about today?
Just what you were talking about before I came and interrupted everything.
Our legislation passing laws, or what happened yesterday at the Capitol where they were actually voting for our kids to have mandated vaccinations, COVID-19 vaccination of that.
I think the mandated vaccinations is something very important to discuss. It's going to be the president very soon.
Yeah, I actually, I think that our legislations need to let us know when they're doing stuff like that so we can actually place our voice, because I'm for choice on your vaccination, and a lot of people who follow are the same way, because I don't think that they should make you have to have your vaccinations to go into school or anywhere else. They also passed where, I'm trying to remember the word, where they're basically going to have to teach racial, it's almost like racial discrimination at schools is the way I look at it, because...
Yes, the critical race theory.
Yep. Now they're making everybody who's in high school, before you graduate high school, you have to go through that course. And that got signed last night, and nobody knew about it. We have so many legislation that's going on right now that we actually have to go back and get rid of once somebody different comes into office. How do you feel about all that?
About which one in particular, the vaccines or the critical race theory?
The critical race theory, that you have to take it in high school now.
Well, racism is not a way to solve racism. There is already no racism, and what they're trying to do with this is they're trying to go from racism towards black people, which was a very long time ago, to racism towards white people without even noticing the transmission.
Well, they need to stop. I think racism I think it's something that we build ourselves more than anything, because we put it on your applications. You put it on affirmative action, where if you don't have a certain amount of that race, you can't hire somebody else, because you need to hire people because of their skin color or their ethics, instead of actually hiring them on the grounds of actually what kind of work that they can do.
Exactly.
All right, so thank you for coming on today. Let's see if somebody else wants to come on, okay? I appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Yep.
So if anybody else wants to join us, come on in. I'll start looking through the scrolls and see if somebody else is talking about coming on. And you're more than welcome to come on, and we can talk just about anything. Like I said, these laws are passing right now. A young lady got arrested yesterday at the Capitol because she was protesting while the assembly was in the midst of voting and in session. They have actually stopped us from being able to go into the Capitol during this stuff, and it's other stuff that needs to change here. Our governor definitely needs to be a lot more transparent on what's going on.
Because the taxpayers pay for it.
Now, how much do you guys pay in your taxes in Canada? Are your taxes higher because of the free health care?
Yeah, of course. We pay 0.16%.
How much?
16.
15%?
Yeah.
So your taxes are higher, so technically you're paying for your insurance, but they just include it in your taxes instead of you paying it out of pocket every day.
Yeah, exactly. So we technically are paying for our healthcare through the taxes, because the taxes kill us here, but we say it's worth it because technically we are paying out of pockets. You know what I mean? So technically, it's healthcare for our Canadian citizens. So anybody, low income or any rich people, it doesn't matter what your income is, as long as you pay your taxes and you don't have to pay out of pocket. So they can't turn you away because taxes are paid for already.
But see, it's not free because you're technically paying for it. So
Yeah, exactly.
here in the United States, we need to do something similar to that. But right now, we're actually giving free health care to people who are undocumented, who just came into this country, and we're not taking care of other people who have lived here and have actually paid into the system. And I think that's what most Californians are opposed, that we're the ones paying for somebody else to have it, yet we can't have it. So when I become governor, we're going to change the healthcare system around in California, where if you pay your taxes, you pay California state taxes, you'll get a California health insurance card that you can use. And that's not taken away from your private insurance. What that does is give you an extra value, so in case you need it, you have it. And that's going to lower the cost of private insurance, because now they have to be competitive in a market, which right now they're owning, because Californians have to pay for their insurance and we pay for somebody else's insurance when we don't get anything, and then we get taxed at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So we're going to make a difference here in California once I become governor on how to do health care. Well, I thank you for joining us from all the way from Canada. I look forward to talking to you again. Let's see if somebody else wants to come on board, okay?
All right.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, right.
So that's an interesting concept, what they're talking about. And we had a young man from Australia talking about that they get free health care, free this, free that. And it's really not free because somebody's paying for it. They make it look like it's free, but they're actually including it in your taxes. In South America, it's the same thing. They're paying 26%, but they get medical. But there's certain parts of medical that you don't get. So you only get a certain portion of it that is taken care of, but there's other parts that actually still have to come out of pocket. What I'd like to do here in California, and I've said this over again, after we get everything fixed, after you paid your California state taxes for a year, because we will no longer be giving free services out to immigrants or illegals or undocumented people. They will actually be earning their own wage, just like everybody else in California. After you pay your state taxes the first year, you get a medical card that will be a substitute to, if you're out of work or if you don't have medical insurance, that you will be able to actually go use it, that you have already paid for. Because when they tax you in California, you're actually paying for Medicare and Medi-Cal. So each and every single one of us are paying for everybody who's getting free insurance. The way I look at it is, if we're paying for it, we have to get something back. That doesn't take away from your Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Kaiser. What that does is, actually, if you find yourself in between jobs, you have a way to go. What it will do, and it will affect everybody, will be your medication. Because if you can go through the Medicare or Medi-Cal system for your prescriptions, why would you pay the Kaiser or the Blue Shield price? So what that's going to actually do is going to make our pharmaceuticals be more competitive, so that people actually go using them instead of not. Fuji's email say it's all time to end this mass BS audit. Shows it was stolen election, June 5th, 11:30. Lets them breathe. Okay, so we can talk about Fauci, and we can talk about the mask, and we can talk about the mask mandates. The emails are getting leaked. People know that the masks are a joke, that they were really never. It was just a way to control. Yeah, you look around everywhere, people are still wearing a mask, even though our immune systems are supposed to be the best way for us to take care of ourselves and heal ourselves. Yet once you put a mask on you, and you can look at the emails from Fauci, what it did is, actually, if you put something covering your face, you're actually taking, when you're trying to cough and get stuff out, you're actually putting it back in your system and making it worse, not making it better. The other reason why they had us segregated or separated and not allow you to go out, not allow you to go anywhere, was because it weakens your immune system, because your immune system needs to be out trying to fight things every day for it to grow and get stronger. Well, it's just like going to the gym or going to school. If you go to the gym, you get stronger and stronger. If you stay at home, you get weaker. Well, it's the same thing with your immune system, and that was going on. They were actually making us stay home, so our immune systems got weaker because the people around you, you already fought their bacteria, you already fought their stuff. I say this a lot, and I'm in a very highly homeless area where I'm at right now. But if you went into homeless areas, you didn't see a lot of homeless people wearing masks. They never did. Yet you didn't see them at the hospitals because their immune systems were fighting. COVID is a man-made. It's already been out. People know that it was man-made. It was made out of China. And it got sent to the United States for a reason. And it did its job. It got for a reason to scare everybody, to see how Donald Trump will react. And it got him not elected again because of what happened and the way he reacted to it. He also listened to Fauci, which he put the wrong person next to him. It's not only about who you are, but it's who you surround yourself with. And unfortunately, Donald J. Trump listened to the wrong people, took the wrong advices from the people that were around him. But that doesn't surprise us, because I say this, that both parties have failed us. That's a perfect example. A portion of the Republican Party was not backing Donald Trump. They were scared of what he was doing. They were scared of the motion and where California was going. And in all reality, you got to wonder, were they worried that they were going to get exposed in criminal activity also? Because otherwise, why wouldn't you help somebody in your own party? Why wouldn't you back that person? Why wouldn't you help them be in a better situation? Yet a portion of the Republican Party had turned their backs on them. Whichever way, whether you like Donald Trump or not, those are the realities and those are the facts of what happened. We see that again with Marjorie Taylor Greene. When she opposed something, the Republican Party didn't back her. Yet when you have Maxine Waters instilling hate and basically causing a mistrial, because that's exactly what happened, nothing happened to her. But you didn't see the Democratic Party go against her. You didn't see the Republican Party try to form a judgment against her for stealing hate. So in California, and actually in the United States, politicians have been career politicians, and they put themselves in this system where they're above the law, where they don't care about what's going on. Because if they did, they'd do something about the corruption and what's going on. And that's why we have to get out of career politicians and actually get to some real people. I said this last night. Sacramento is like a toilet. We need to flush the water and get some clean water in there. And that's pretty much in our government right now. We need to redo what we did. You have career politicians and you have people who are in office, even people who are in your assembly right now, that didn't say anything about what the vote was going on yesterday. Didn't even let anybody know. It doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. What matters is the people who hired you to do your job, and we should be informed of what's going on. Our politicians pick a subject that they feel comfortable to put out, but they don't want to put out the whole truth. Yet they want to be leaders. They want to be the next governors. They want to be the next presidents. They want to be our next senators. Yet, even as assembly people, they can't get in front of some of this stuff. What are they afraid of? Losing their jobs? People lost their jobs during COVID. They kept their jobs. They stayed at home and they got paid. They got paid so much that they were able to write a book and then come back and sell us the book. After we paid them to write the book, they want to sell you the book. If they're that corrupt right now, what are they going to do if they actually become president of the United States? What would they look like if they actually become governor of California? I think the system has failed the California people and the United States people. California, we're leaders in what happens in the United States. And I think it's time that we take our state back for the California people. It's not about money. It's not about who's the most popular. It's about who's the best person to do the job. We talk about race. We talk about affirmative action. Well, and we always say the same thing. It's not fair because the right person that's qualified for the job doesn't get the job for different reasons. Well, it's the same thing when you're running for governor of California. Sometimes you get overlooked because you don't have that name recognition. You get overlooked because you don't have that dollar sign in front of you. So isn't that the same thing as what's going on in your employer? Isn't that why maybe your child didn't get to go to college because some ethic they didn't have enough? But even though your child was more qualified to be in that college than the person they put in there. Well, we need to start looking at politics the same way. We need to go by qualified people, not by their bank accounts and not by their name recognitions, but because they're qualified and they actually have the California people's best interests or the United States' best interests. That's why Donald Trump won, because he had the best interests of the United States. People tell me a lot, you sound like Donald Trump, you sound like this. You know what? That's funny, because all business people sound alike. We want what's best for the business. We want to grow the business. We want to grow our state. We want to grow our country. I'm about growth. I'm about businesses coming back into California. I'm about cleaning up this mess that we have around me right now, where you have people sleeping on the streets in the United States. We send billions of dollars to other countries all the time. Yet we cannot find housing. We cannot pay for medical. We cannot have better streets. We tax Californians to death. And we probably live in the worst state. And what I mean worst is the worst kept state and the worst managed state of any other state around. It is a shame. It is a shame to see what we have allowed to happen to our state. Good morning. Are you there? You might have to log on and try to log back on, because I can't see you or hear you.
See, here in India, this is night time, so I cannot. Here in India, this is a night time. Right now, the 10 p.m.
Where are you calling from?
I am from India.
Oh, well, nice to meet you. And what can I do for you? What would you like to talk about today?
Yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to talk to you also.
Well, we're going worldwide these days, aren't we? We got Canada, we had Australia last night, now we have India.
Yes. I'm from India. That I want to see as you a governor of California, with the blessings of California and my brothers and sisters.
Well, we appreciate it. And maybe next time that I'm on, it'll be a time when it's daytime at your time, and then you're more than welcome to come back.
Right now, flight operations has been suspended by the U.S. government due to COVID rise in India, second wave. So that flight operations will be suspended now. When flight operations resumed again, that I'm trying to get there.
Your connection isn't the greatest. Maybe we try this again another time.
Yeah, okay, sure.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead and all the best.
Thank you. Go ahead and we'll let somebody else come on. Thank you. Good night to you.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Little rough connection there. Kind of hard to hear him.
Yeah, here in poor connection due to the network error.
All the way from India. And as you guys can see, American policies go all the way across to everybody. They usually do, and a lot of people hear and see what the United States is doing as a guide. So it's nice to hear from people from other countries and other states that are coming on board. We did have some stuff right here. I'm going to read some comments here. If anybody else wants to hop on, ask for the request, and I'll be happy to put you on. A lot of Republicans went to sleep after the election, sad to say. So when election comes, who will they look for? For candidates, the mega people who pay attention to every single day. You know, a lot of Republicans, a lot of candidates felt betrayed at the end of what happened, right? So a lot of them did go to sleep. A lot of them just fell out. And who is holding the political realms right now? Who's out there doing what they're supposed to be? A lot of the patriots, a lot of the people who love this state and who love this country. When I say that both party lines have failed us, is exactly what I'm talking about. But see, when we talk about parties, we're talking about the Democrats who are already, let me see if I could log back out and log back in and see if that will fix this connection here, because this connection is kind of bad right now. Sir, if you don't mind, if you could log out, log off.
Yes, log out. I just want to log out because here the night time and poor connection.
Yes. If you can log off, hopefully that'll help our connection a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to get out from the live video because it is very poor connection. Not good to see this.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead and hit the little
wish you all
X
the
and we'll
very
see if we
best.
get you off.
I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you.
In advance, my hearty congratulations to you, and you will be blessed with the Californians.
Well, we hope so. And again, thank you for joining us. And let's see if we can get somebody else on here. I got 3 more people that want to come on, and we're limited on time today.
Yeah.
All right, as he gets off line, we'll continue. See if that will help our system here just a little bit. There he goes. All right, so we have a lot that we have to change in California. I know some of these times these are just kind of like rants or people telling us that we're just going off on a tantrum, but what it really is just informing Californians. When we talk about our parties have failed us, it is more about the people who are our leaders, not the everyday person, not the everyday worker, not your co-worker, not your friend, not the guy that you sit with at church, but the administration, the people who are our leaders, who are supposed to be defending us. Because the reality is, most common people, most of us, don't understand what's going on around the world, don't understand what's going on in our politics, because we feel that we hire somebody to take care of that. We like them because they came on television. We like them because we heard them somewhere, right? But we never really watched or listened to their policies till they start affecting us. I talk about SB 145 quite a bit because I think that's the worst bill that has ever been passed. But 277, Prop 47, we could go down the road in the line of different laws and politicians that have signed these laws into place that don't benefit any one of us. We all voted on a gas tax, right? Because it was misleading. Yet our roads aren't getting fixed. Yet I just heard that Gavin Newsom took that money and moved it over to climate control. Well, how can you do climate control when you can't even manage our forests? You can't even clean up our forests. You can't even try to prevent a forest fire. I understand that we need a big change in California. We need change in policies. We need to change the way we do business. But as Californians, we need to change the way that we're voting for these people. If you can't sit across from your elected official at any time and actually have a conversation, you probably shouldn't elect that person. If you can't pick up the phone and actually call and get a hold of them, you probably shouldn't elect that person. Just because they look good on paper or just because a certain organization thinks they're the great person doesn't mean they're the right person for the job. Last go around, the California GOP backed John Cox, and we see where that led us. If you're a Republican, if you're a conservative, and you went by what they said, we voted for the man. But what happened? You can't even get 2 minutes of his time right now when he's running for office again. I felt my vote got voted at 8:02 when he said, hey, I give up. I'm going to hibernate now. So what I tell everybody is the same thing. Look at every candidate. And if you guys are on any of the forums that say recall or opening up California or whatever they are, it's funny because when they do polls, they only put the same 4 people. The same 4 people get polled and then they say other or none. Why are they so scared to put everybody's name down there? Why are they so scared to let the California people know that there's more than 4 Republicans or more than 4 people running to be governors of California? Because if I did a poll, I put everybody's name. Guess what? Everybody has different feelings and different ideas. But you see the same 4 people all the time. Is that a form of brainwashing? Is that a form of telling you that there's what they want you to vote for? Or do they want you to feel that those are your only choices? Now, I heard this the other day, which I kind of laughed. Somebody said, well, if it's between Jenner and Gavin Newsom, I'm going to go with Jenner. But if there was somebody else, I wouldn't go with Jenner. Well, the way a recall works, there's going to be about 102 people to pick from. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Libertarians. Not all of them are there for the right reasons. Not all of them have worked to get there. Some of them just put their names on the ballot. As we grow the campaign, as we grow the time towards get closer to the time of election, you'll see a lot more people come up. But you'll also see a lot more stuff about each individual that you thought was a great candidate. We have already seen that since last March when I started this. 3 or 4 candidates have already dropped off. 3 or 4 candidates, their history, their past, their demeanors, the person who they really are has changed from what they were displaying that they were being. Some of these people didn't even use their correct names, trying to run for office, trying to deceive people. So this is all the stuff that we got to look at. On a recall election, it's not going to be one person against Gavin Newsom. It's not going to be one Republican, one Independent. It's going to be everybody who feels that they are best for the job or running for the job. So with that being said, it is our job as voters to actually go out and investigate the people that we like the most. And it doesn't always mean that just because somebody says, hey, we're going to all get behind this one person, we all should. That's a choice that each individual should make. Who you back, who you vote for is your right, your freedom, and your ability to say that your voice counted. But when we're turning around and saying, oh, they want me to vote for this person, so I need to, no. That's what's got us in the problem that we're in now. That's why we keep having career politicians in office. Because that's who everybody tells us to vote for. That's the people that we know. Well, if they were that good at their jobs, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in. If they were actually working for the California people, or assemblymen or senators from California, they would have actually came out and helped our communities grow and go against Gavin Newsom and fight against him to open up our businesses. But not only that, they would have gone back to their districts and gone and talked to county council. They would have told county council, let's go. And that's another problem that we have. It's our local people, our local electors, our mayors, our county council, our district attorneys for some cases, right? Because the county council could have opened up your county at any time that they wanted. The city council could have opened up your city at any time. Perfect example, Paul from Atwater, he opened up Atwater. He's the mayor of Atwater. So what did he do? He opened Atwater up. If they were for we the people, our elections wouldn't have been stolen. These rhinos really show their faces. And that is 100% correct. Because, and I say this about both parties. You guys hear me say this, both parties have failed us. This isn't about parties anymore. So I want everybody to get that out of their head. It's not about Democrats, it's not about Republicans, it's not about Libertarians. This is about California, the California people. And it's time that us, the California people, the real voters, take our state back and vote for the right person. Forget about your party lines. It's us. Because everything that these guys are doing is affecting us, right? The elections were, whether they were stolen or not, we don't need to get into that because we all believe it has. There's other people that don't. If I was on the other side and I didn't believe the elections got stolen, I would have been open to do the audit. I would have been open to say, let me show you that you're wrong. The elections wasn't stolen. Here it is. But nobody wanted to. Everybody wanted to switch that under the carpet and let's move on, which gives everybody the impression the elections were stolen. Did California turn red? Did we have enough votes in California to turn red? We're not going to find out till somebody gets in office and actually does a real audit. And that's what we're striving for on the recall. This could be the most fairest election that this state has seen. The good thing is, once I get into office, we can fix it for 2022 and down the road, because I will ask for voter ID. We will put a law that you need voter ID in the state of California to vote. Not only voter ID, but you also need to prove that you're a U.S. citizen. That's either with your passport or your birth certificate or your certificate that says that you're a U.S. citizen. We need to regulate our voting because that's our most precious thing. It's not racist to ask for ID, because if it is, don't go buy a beer, because now that's racist, because they're asking you for ID to buy a beer. Right? Why are they asking you for ID to buy a beer or buy cigarettes? Or get this, if it's so racist, why do you need ID to get on a plane? All different nationalities get on planes. All Asian. All doesn't matter your legal status. You get on a plane, but you still have to show an ID. Why? But you don't need ID to vote. The most precious and sacred thing, the one thing that has the most power out of anything else in this country, your vote. You don't need ID for that. Something messed up in that system. So yeah, we're going to go to voter ID. We're going to go to, we're going to actually clean up the voter polls and the rolls to make sure that the right people are voting. I look around this park where I'm at right now, and here in a little bit, we're actually going to do a video out here. And we're going to show you the homeless people. Because that's a real problem. Politicians like to talk about the homeless issue, but they don't want to show it to you. They want to instill fear in you. Yet they want to tell you that they're taking your tax dollars and they're fixing something yet when nothing's getting fixed. The shame of it all is that if you're in the LA area and you ever went off the 405, you go to the veterans place right there, right on the, I'm trying to remember the name of the street, excuse me. I was there the other day, and you can see the homeless tents of veterans living in that parking lot. These are the kids, the men, the women that we asked to go sacrifice everything for this country, for you and me, for our freedom. Yeah, they come back home and they're forgotten. Today, when I show you guys the homeless problem here, I'm in San Jose. When I show you guys the homeless problem in San Jose, we're going to see if we can find some veterans that are out here homeless so you guys see what I'm talking about also. They're not just at the VA. They're not just at veterans places. They're actually out here in the streets among all these people. They're out here begging for food, for beer, for whatever, so that they can move their pain away. There are veterans. They're the people who sacrificed everything for our freedom. They should be number one of us taken care of. They should have the medical help that they need. If the VA's backed up, they should be able to go to their local hospital and get taken care of. If they don't have food, they should be fed because they paid the ultimate sacrifice. It's not free. They've already paid for it. They paid for us to be able to do this. They paid for us to be able to walk around and be free and be able to talk the way we want and let guys like BLM sit there and riot and do what they do, right? Our veterans paid the price for them to be able to do that. They come home and they're even paying a bigger price. They're homeless. The country that they stood and defended for has turned their backs on them. Yes, we have a lot of services for them, but it's funny how most of them don't even know they have services available. We need to find a program to help our veterans, and they need to be number one in our list. They need to know that if they need medical, they can go down to their local hospital and get taken care of. They need to know that they have a shelter and that they have food available to them for the ultimate sacrifice that they have given us. All this will happen in California when I become governor. The veterans will be taken care of. We will have housing for veterans. We will have medical facilities where they can go and get taken care of. Working with the VA to help them get clean, get off alcohols and get off drugs, even though a lot of them tell you that's the way they cope with everything that they saw overseas when they were at war. And that's the only way they can cope with it. So we're gonna give them the help that they need so they can actually have a better life when they come back, and they can have a reason why to come back to the United States and feel proud of what they did. Not ashamed, and not in a wheelchair on the side of a road on a freeway that says United States Marine, homeless, need some help. Anything helps. I read that sign coming in today. Yet when we said the United States is in problems, we need to send you to the Middle East. 9/11 happened. These people didn't hesitate to say goodbye to their families, get on a plane and go fight for us. Yet the United States is hesitating to help them when they get back. The VAs are too backed up. And if the VA's backed up, how many of these servicemen really need help? Why don't our local hospitals take care of them? Why haven't we worked out a plan? I know Donald Trump started to. Yeah, it never trickled down to California for some reason. And that's a lot of what happened with our previous administration. Now, for those of you guys that voted for Joe Biden because you just didn't like Donald Trump? Do me and yourself a favor. If you like the decision you made, congratulations. But if you're like the rest of us, knowing that he destroyed thousands of jobs with the pipelines, that he signed off for Russia to have their pipeline available so Russian people can make money and not American people. When it comes to the governor's race in California, because this affects each and every single one of you and me, don't say, I'm going to vote for this guy because I just don't like that guy. Vote for somebody because you really want them to be in office. But don't do what most people did for the presidential election because you see where we're at. What would you do for senior citizens facing homelessness? That's another, God, that's another mistake that's going on in the state where we're taking our elderly and moving them out of elderly housing just so that they could redo new housing, new development in their area where they're at. And they're finding themselves homeless. A lot of our seniors right now, the cost of living has gone so high that they're barely living, not even paycheck to paycheck. They're barely making a couple bucks to try to even survive. A lot of them don't even eat. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of our seniors don't even eat. The people who have paved the road for us to get here. I have, and it's still an idea and works. I have to sit down with my legislation and make sure that it's actually feasible what I'm thinking about doing. But what I'm thinking about doing for the seniors actually has to take place after we secure our border, after we reform immigration so we have more revenue coming in, as we get people going back to work and more jobs available. Because the idea is, and I'll give you guys the idea, I don't have all the fundamentals. I'm not even sure if it's going to work. It's just an idea that's been brewing in my head. A lot of people who are on fixed incomes on Social Security and are barely making it. My ideas and my thought is, as we get more people in the workforce, first of all, we got to pay back the money that we took from CalPERS. We have to reform CalPERS so that our government employees will always get their benefits, will always get their retirement. Our police officers, our clerical workers at the courthouse, everybody who has anything to do with CalPERS should be able to take that back and be able to get their retirement no matter what. And it's not fair that the state of California has used that as a piggy bank for so many years, and now it's facing bankruptcy because we have stolen so much money from it. As we get revenue coming in, we need to reinforce that, and I'll get back to the elderly here. We're working on, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it. It's really an idea right now of a way to make a California Social Security for people who have paid into the state of California for many years. See if there's a way that we can retract some of that money and be able to put it back into Californians, senior citizens communities, that maybe giving them an extra Social Security check from the state of California, not a federal one, but something from the state of California. This idea came to me when Gavin Newsom said, I'm going to give illegal aliens or immigrants $125 million of California taxpayers' money. Well, if you can do that for immigrants or illegals that are here that haven't paid a penny into taxes, how come we can't do that for our senior citizens? Why can't we have a Social Security system that comes out of California for people who've been in California, retired from California, paid California taxes for so many years, to help them and get them back on their feet so that they're not struggling, so they're not suffering, so they're not going hungry? These are our seniors. These are the people who paved the way for us. These are people who have built our economy in their time. Yet we don't take care of them. If you guys ever been to senior living facilities, some of them aren't very good. They're not kept up. They're not up to par. Yet the state does nothing about it. I got a few more minutes, so there's a couple more subjects I kind of want to talk about today. And one of them is the CPS system in the state of California. That system needs to be reformed, and it needs to be really looked at. CPS is supposed to unite families, not take the kids away and put them up for adoption as soon as they can. So when we're going to get into office, we're going to actually audit CPS. We're going to audit every form of government help that there is. We talked about mental health. We talked about how 70% of our homeless people, which we're going to show today, have mental health issues. So we are going to open up mental health back to get 70% of our population who's on the street right now into the facilities that they need to get the help that they need, the medical help that they need. We are going to open those facilities up so these people can actually get the help that they need. And it's not just them. Okay, it's not just them. It's a lot of our veterans too that need that help, that we're going to help with that. And we're going to help with the VA. The VA is going to help us do mental health for our veterans and what they need. We're also going to help these folks out here that you guys are going to see a video here in a couple of days after we do it. They're going to help us build their housing. It's not free. The state of California has allotted $2 billion, $3 billion, I believe it just passed, for our homeless issues. Yet the money never trickles down to the homeless people. It goes to people who are feeding them. It goes to administration. It goes to counties. It goes here. It goes there. But it never really goes to solving a problem. We're actually going to take that money. We're actually going to build the facilities and the housing so that they have housing. They have rehab clinics, and they have counselors to be able to help them get off the drugs, get off the alcohol. They're going to have a trade so they can actually go back to society and working. We're going to find a solution for the problem. Now, somebody said you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And a lot of that is true. But what we can do is we can give them the tools that they need to be able to be better members of society, and we can give them the help that they need. And that's what a lot of these people need, is just help. They need help to be able to get on their feet, to be able to go back to work. Some of these people go to work every day or had a job, lost a job. Now it's because of COVID, before it was because of the recession, and just haven't been able to find a job because they're homeless and they can't put an address down on their application. So we're actually going to go back to a state that cares about the people, a state back for the people. One of the worst things that I heard was enjoy your long weekend. Memorial Day is not enjoy your long weekend. It's enjoy your freedom. Be thankful. Look back and be grateful for the men and women who have served. It's not just a long weekend. It's a good time to honor our service people and our fallen soldiers. I want to thank the guys in Gilroy for inviting me on their rally, on their ride to the San Joaquin Memorial Cemetery. I wouldn't have missed that for anything, and I'll be there again next year, because that's just a simple way of paying respect for the fallen soldiers who have sacrificed so much for us to have what we have. My time's up today, guys. Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. I thank you guys for joining me. Sorry it's a little shorter today. We'll see you guys on the next go. If you like my videos, please like and share them. Let all your friends know who I am, because I need to get my name out. If you like what I'm talking about and you want to invest in your future, go to DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Go to the bottom of the page, hit the donate button. Everything helps. As I've been self-funding this, now it's time that I get the California people to help me, who are backing me, to help me get to the next level. We're on the move to try to get some commercials out there, so we need some of that funding to come in. So I'd appreciate anything. Thank you again. Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. I'll see you.